Alright, what's up guys? My name is Dane Visuals, and in today's video I'm going to teach you guys how to get cinematic lighting. Now guys, when you hear the phrase cinematic lighting, I know it can be very daunting at first, but all cinematic lighting basically is just to get an idea of lighting that would be used for film, which is more of a controlled, intentional style of lighting. So guys, one of the biggest tips I can give to anybody that wants to get cinematic lighting is to understand lighting patterns, because lighting patterns basically help to create the kind of lighting styles that we want to see. Certain lighting styles are going to lend better for, let's say, conveying a particular emotion, for explaining a position a character might be in, or just overall adding to your movie or film stylistically. So in this video, I'm gonna just give you some simple tips, nothing too in depth, of how you can get cinematic quote-unquote lighting. So when we think about cinematic lighting, what makes lighting cinematic is depth. Because you want to take a 2D image and to make it look as three-dimensional as possible. And how you're going to do that is by adding contrast. You want to add depth and shadows. So you're going to have to create particular shapes. The more dynamic you add to your lighting, that's how it's going to make a flat two-dimensional image look 3D, look almost realistic, like it's in front of your face. So you have to manipulate your lights and your shadows, and that's what's going to make your lighting look more cinematic. And by dynamic, guys, dynamic basically means the contrast between the bright parts of your image and the dark parts of your image. So the bright parts and the dark parts come together to make the overall image. The more difference there is in those values, is going to make your image have depth, and depth is what's going to make your image look realistic. You don't want it to be too dramatic to the point where it doesn't look like it exists, but you don't want it to be flat. Flat isn't the most interesting thing to see. Alright guys, so the first thing you need to know if you want to get cinematic lighting is understand what a key light is. Now a key light is basically the main light that you're going to be using to light your subject. You want to have the key light in a particular angle or spot to give a particular message. I'm going to show you guys different positions you can put your light to get a particular style of key light. But it's important to have certain qualities in your key light. A particular quality I want you guys to emphasize is having your light soft. To get soft light, guys, you don't want to have the light bare on your subject. If you can put a form of diffusion material, which diffusion material can be you just putting a reflector in front of your light, or even bouncing your light off a wall instead of putting your light directly on your subject, will make your light softer. The larger your light source is, and if you're bouncing it off a material, it's gonna make it more soft. And the softer light is, the more cinematic it will look. Harsh light is only applicable in a particular instance. You don't want your lighting to be harsh unless you're trying to convey harshness. So generally, you want to have soft, nice light. So the first lighting style I'm going to talk about is butterfly lighting. Now, butterfly lighting is basically where you're going to take your key light and you're going to place it above your subject, like directly above their forehead, and you're going to place it in a spot where you're going to see some shadows start forming underneath the subject's nose. When you start to see that butterfly pattern, that's when you're getting butterfly lighting. Now, the purpose of butterfly lighting is that it makes your subject have a slimmer kind of face. It also highlights the areas around the cheekbones here. So in a sense, it's very flattering. It's something you particularly use for women. It also has another name called Paramount Lighting. It was made popular by Paramount Films because at the time it was a particular lighting style that they used. It helps to make women's face look more flattering and more quote-unquote attractive. You know, all girls are attractive, but it makes them look more flattering. So it is basically you positioning your light above your subject's forehead and getting those shadows underneath right here. And that's gonna help your subject to just have this really nice catch light in the eyes right here, and also to have a very flattering image on the subject's face. Applications for this particularly is when you want to show like maybe an innocent looking subject. You just want to highlight the beauty of a subject. You don't want to get too much contrast in the face. It's just really about getting like a nice, subtle, beautiful image. And that's something I'd probably use in maybe a portrait, or maybe if I'm introducing a character that's a love interest. You can think of your application, but it's basically a very flattering lighting style for women. Can be used on men, but it's particularly very flattering for a woman. All right, guys, the next lighting style I want to educate you guys about is called Rembrandt lighting. So for Rembrandt lighting, guys, you want to place your light on a 45-degree angle, either to the left or to the right. What this is going to do is it's going to create a shadow to the opposite side of the face. So if your light is on the right side, it's going to create a shadow on your left. If the light is on your left, it's going to create a shadow towards your right. Your nose is what creates the shadow. What this does is it helps to add depth to your image. Now, Rembrandt Lighting was made popular by a famous painter. I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Rembrandt. And it's because it helps to create dynamic in both the shadows and the highlights of your face. It's a very popular style that's used in both photography and videography. And this lighting style will help to create dynamic in your photos and your videos. This is a lighting style you should keep in mind. You can always experiment to see what works. All right, guys, our next lighting style I want to explain to you guys is called split lighting. Now, split lighting, as the name implies, is basically taking your light and putting it on one half of your subject's face. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is just put it on the opposite side. So if you want the light left, you put it on the left. If you want the right, you put it on the right. This is gonna add a lot of dramatics to your video or photo. Split lighting is basically you only highlighting a particular area and putting the other areas engulfed in shadows. You want to use this kind of lighting when you want it to be very dramatic. If you want to show, like, you know, darkness, chaos, and you want to convey an emotion of like something is definitely going on here, because one half of the face will be completely covered, the other half will be shown. So this is good for anything conveying like intenseness, you know, lots of character. So using this lighting style can help you to also convey a particular emotion. And it's very simple to do. All right, guys, so if you understand those basic lighting patterns, when you can build off those, that will help to improve your videos dramatically. Now, a last big step I'm going to explain to you guys before I go is whenever you're going to light a subject or light any particular area, the first thing you want to do is to try to eliminate external lighting. The point of cinematic lighting in general is supposed to be intentional. So if you go into a room, the first thing I typically do is turn off all the lights in the room. You don't want to be like forced into using external factors, unless that's your intention. If you want to use outdoors, or if you want to use the sunlight, that's fine. But if you want to light a subject a particular way, you want to eliminate external factors. You want to just use your kind of lighting. So you go into the room, you turn off all the lights, and you apply your lights. Once you see the effect that your lights have, then you can reintroduce other lights or introduce practical lights. But basically, you want to just get rid of all, you know, everything that's not you. And then that's how you can really create and shape the image that you want to convey. Now, guys, if you like this video, let me know in the comments. I'm really excited to teach you guys about lighting. If there's anything I missed out, let me know. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end, and peace. Look out for the next video.